They were the icons of the 90s, the voices that rocked the stage, dominated the charts, and became the youth of millions. But behind the bright lights and perfect smiles, there were secrets they kept, and sometimes they weren't just harmless secrets. Some created movie-like love stories just to sell records. Others swore that their voices were gifted from heaven, when in reality, every note was honed by studio technology. And there were the shocking scandals, where a stage, a microphone, and the world fell silent when the truth was revealed. From elaborate lies told to maintain a perfect public image, to stark truths hidden for decades, this list takes you through 15 stories you probably never heard in full. Get ready to go behind the scenes of the music industry, where not everything is as shiny as the spotlight. Because behind the tunes that have you singing along, there are secrets and lies. But the truth behind it all is darker than you think.
Before they became global icons, each star of the 90s started with a simple story, but also contained the seeds of their future lies. Mariah Carey, who grew up on Long Island, New York, often talks about her difficult childhood and her innate passion for singing. But few people know that right from the first recordings, the team behind them applied advanced studio techniques to create the perfect voice that the whole world was fascinated by. Backstreet Boys, the Florida Boys, are considered the most cohesive group. In fact, even at their peak, the group was divided internally due to the pressure of tour schedules and contract disputes, but every public image was staged to look like an inseparable family. Spice Girls, the girl power icon, was a project that was carefully selected by the producer from hundreds of contestants. Yet the story they tell their fans is that of a group of close friends who decided to change the world through music. Those foundations, whether they're based on truth or image strategy, lay the foundation for the biggest lies we're about to uncover. The 90s were the golden age of MTV, FM radio, and sold-out global tours. It was also a period when record labels, managers, and PR teams built artists' images to the point that sometimes audiences were only shown an edited, perfect version. Mariah Carey, after just one night of performing at the 1991 Grammys, was immediately labeled Vocal Queen, but behind that was a multi-million-dollar promotional campaign carefully selecting each interview so that no one would ask difficult questions. The Backstreet Boys, with I Want It That Way and a series of music videos filled with the image of dream lovers, actually went through many changes in lyrics and vocals to suit the standards of the American and Asian markets. The Spice Girls took the world by storm with their girl power message, but few people knew that their biggest hits, like Wannabe, were rewritten multiple times by male songwriters, a stark contrast to the self-made image the group once claimed. Ricky Martin and Britney Spears were no exception. Their public relationships were only meant to keep their names hot, while their real personal lives were kept as a state secret. It was during this peak period that the most elaborate lies were created, and they became an indispensable part of the aura. When the spotlight fades, the truth begins to leak. And sometimes just one moment of indiscretion is enough to destroy an image that has been built for a decade. Milli Vanilli, the biggest lip-syncing scandal in music history. When the CD was jumped on stage, the whole world was shocked to realize that the two boys did not sing on all the million-selling hits. Jennifer Lopez, once accused by her colleagues of using other singers' recorded voices for some songs, while still receiving all the praise and awards. Boy George, the healthy image that hid years of addiction and legal scandal. Only later did he publicly admit that past. Whitney Houston, the flawless angel, turned out to be struggling with serious health problems and an abusive marriage, but everything was hidden behind the family door.
Michael Jackson repeatedly claimed no plastic surgery, while medical records and comparison photos tell a completely different story. These incidents were not just hot news for a short time, but changed the way audiences viewed their idols forever. The music of the 90s still resonates today. Those melodies, despite all the rumors, are still an irreplaceable part of the memories of millions. The lies, the secrets, the scandals are ultimately just a piece of the bigger picture. Behind every halo is a real person, with weaknesses, mistakes, and even fears of being exposed. When we listen to "I Want It That Way," "Wannabe," or "Hero," do we still think of the scandals, or simply smile because of the memories of our youth? Perhaps the true legacy of these singers lies not in the perfect image they once tried to maintain, but in the power to connect people's hearts through music. And even though the truth is sometimes cruel, that music still makes us sing along. So, what do you think? Which of these 15 lies surprised you the most? Leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to continue discovering untold secrets of the international music scene.